Okay, these notes are multiplying and dividing with scientific notation. A review. Okay, calculator use. You will need a calculator with an EE button. If your calculator doesn't have one, you'll end up having to use parentheses when dividing, which is a pain in the derriere. So all the calculators that I have in my room, they do have that EE button. So you're more than welcome to use the one in my room. Okay, EE stands for times 10. So if you look at something, let's put something in scientific notation. So let's say we have 3.81 times 10 to the negative 3 power. So when you put it into the calculator to either multiply, divide, or whatever, you're going to type in 3.81 EE negative 3. So that EE stands for times 10. Okay, that way it makes it so that it's much easier and you don't have to worry about parentheses. Okay, so here's the picture of the calculators I have in my room, and right here is the EE button. So you would type in, like, you would do the 3 and then the 0.81 and then hit EE and then negative 3. Now, if you have some of the scientific calculators, the graphing calculators, it's second. And I think it's second, let me look real quick. It's second comma on mine. So second comma if you have the TI-83. If you have another calculator, I'm not sure. You'd have to figure out how to use it, or the best bet is to just use mine. That way you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we are going to, let's try multiplying. Now, multiplying, you don't always have to use the EE button if there's no division involved. You can just type in 3.45 times 10 caret 15 if you know what that is. It's a pain in the butt because you're adding more steps. The easiest thing to do is to type in 3.45 EE 15 and then hit the times button, 6.99 EE negative 5. And when you do that, well, hang on. When you do that, you get 2.41. Now, on the calculator, it'll say 2.41155 E11. So that is actually 2.41, and let's just go to 3 places, times 10 to the 11th. So on the calculator, when it gives you an answer, E means times 10. And then that 11 is the exponent. So that's what you got to be careful of when you look at the calculator. So you can't give me an answer 2.41 E11. I'll be like, no, that's not what it is. It's actually 2.41 times 10 to the 11. Okay, let's try another one. Let's push this up a little bit. Okay, so let's do, let's see, 4.68 times 10 to the 13. We'll multiply it by, I don't know, 8.10 times 10 to the 26. Let's see what we get here. So once again, we're going to put in 4.68 EE 13 times 8.10 EE 26. And we get 3.7908 E40. So our answer really is 3.79 times 10 to the, whoops, hang on a second. I love it when let's back this up. I ran out of space on my page here, so 3.79 times 10 to the 40. So we'll have a couple more practice problems. Well, we'll have some practice problems on Canvas, And I'll have a lot of multiplying, and then we'll get to the division next. Okay, dividing with scientific notation. This is where you really do want to use the EE button, because otherwise you're going to divide and then multiply, because your calculator does do order of operations. So if you type in 7.59 times 10 caret negative 6 divided by 3.55 times 10 caret 12, it's going to divide by the 3.55, but then it's going to multiply. So it'll multiply this. So unless you use parentheses, which I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, it multiplies, not divides it. Okay, so let's go ahead and, I'll erase that. We're going to do the division first with the EE button, and then I'll show you how to do it without the EE button. So you're going to type 7.59 EE negative 6. You hit the divide by button, 3.55 EE 12. When you do that, you should get 2.13 times, oops, nope, so, sorry, I can't round. If we only want to go 3 places past, or 2 places past the decimal, so 2.14 times 10 to the negative 18. Now, if you need to use parentheses, this is how you have to do it. So you'll be typing in, you'll put parentheses around the 7.59 times 10, and some it's caret, some it's y to the x, caret negative 6, or however your calculator does this, and then the divide by, and then the next set of parentheses, 3.55 times 10, and then use the little caret button, and 12. But you have to use those parentheses, otherwise it will multiply, and you get a totally different answer. Okay, let's try one more real quick. Let's go up here. So let's do 0.153 divided by 7.01 times 10 to the negative, I don't know, negative 9. Okay, so the top one's not in scientific notation, which that happens. You can have one that's one value that is not in scientific notation, and then the other one is. You still have to use the EE button or parentheses, at least on the second one. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 0.153, and then I'm going to use the, oops, hang on a second. Can't write today either. Divide by, and then I'm going to do 7.01 E negative 9. And when I do that, I get 218 and a whole bunch of other numbers. Now, this one is not in scientific notation because it's not long enough. If you have my calculator, all you've got to do is hit second 5. That second 5 will put it into scientific notation. Otherwise, you've got to put this answer into scientific notation yourself. So we're going to take the decimal. Here, let's write the whole number down. 259.62.91. So we have to put this into scientific notation, or otherwise hit second 5. Some of your other calculators should have a way to put it into scientific notation. The graphing ones, I'm not so sure. I think there is a way, but I'm not really sure how. So for me, it's easier to put it into scientific notation. So we're going to move the decimal to right past the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2.18 times 10 to the 7th. And that's our answer. Okay, hopefully you guys understand this. I'm going to get some practice doing this, and then tomorrow you'll be back doing Coulomb's Law. So have a good day. Bye.